So day one, tips and tricks. So as a new ZBrush user, when you open ZBrush, it doesn't look like any other software you've probably ever used. So there's a few things that we need to talk about that will save you a lot of headache whenever you first start using this program. So first thing, when you open ZBrush for the very first time, you'll notice that we have this home page. Okay, so this just kind of gives you some information about ZBrush and things that the company wants to kind of showcase. You're more than welcome to click on that and read through that at a later date. But by default, when I start, I just go ahead and click X to get out of that menu or that home screen. So the next thing you're going to find when you first start ZBrush is that the lightbox is open. So the lightbox basically is just kind of a preset that gives you some information, lets you see the projects that are kind of by default in the projects folder. There's a bunch of default things here, like there's a head planes. If you double click there, you've got some planes of the head that you can start with. Just basically a lot of starting meshes. Like if you wanted to do some jewelry, here's some little jewelry 3D models. If you want to, you can see that there's quite a few projects in here, and they also continue off the screen. So if you left click and drag, you'll see that there are more elements here. Then we have some things up here at the top. We have recent, so if you've been working on a project, you can hit recent and it'll pop up there. We have tools, so these are some extra tools to work on. With brushes, you have tons and tons of brushes. These are extra brushes that aren't inside your standard brush toolbar, and we'll go over that a little bit later. So anyway, just want to let you know these are this is what you're going to see when you first open up ZBrush. So to get rid of this so that we can start working, what we're going to do is go up to the Lightbox tab, which is right beside Homepage. So click Lightbox, and that will make that menu disappear. All right, so the next thing we're going to run into as new ZBrush users, if you don't make any other selection, you just come right onto the canvas area and start to click and drag. You'll notice that you just have the square shape, and no matter what you do, it just keeps repeating that square shape. Okay, and then our canvas gets full and it looks horrible. We're going to hit Control N, and that will clear your canvas of basically 2.5D imagery there. So again, when you click like this, if it's doing this type of thing, Control N, and that'll go away. So let's go over to our our tools, which is on the far right hand side. We're going to go down to the little yellow S, click Tool, and if you click and drag like off of this icon, you'll see that the menu disappears. So click and slide over to the menu, and then we're going to select on Sphere 3D, and now you see our menu has changed a little bit. So if I click and drag now, you'll see again we're getting that same kind of repetitive everywhere I click and just left clicking and dragging, and you can see I'm pulling in that three-dimensional object, but it just keeps repeating it. It doesn't let me manipulate it. Again, we're going to hold Control N, and then that will clear our palette, or our canvas. Now, what we're going to do this time is we're going to click one time, drag out our sphere, and then we can either hit the T key, or we can go up to this menu bar and click on Edit Object. As soon as I hit Edit Object, you see that now my entire menu has changed. We have like a little bounding border box here for our canvas, some other things highlighted, and so now we can actually start to rotate this object around. Okay, so again, for new users in ZBrush, if you find that you're clicking and your object is just repeatedly clicking and dragging out, but you can't manipulate it, it's because you don't have the edit button turned on. And to clear all of those repetitive objects, you hit Control N. Again, that is something as a new user you'll run into quite a bit, so keep that in mind.